Hi, it's Dawn. Welcome back. I'm working on another page in my handmade journal, and I've done a couple of these. Now this is my third one, but now I'm kind of going for like a 70s, I don't know, 70s vibe here. But instead of going oranges, I think I'm just going to go greens on this one. I'm still on this green-blue phase-ish thing, so I really feel like that's going to be my jam for this one. It's just all greens, and ooh, it's got a lot of something in it that I wasn't expecting. Alright, let's try this again. Still enjoying playing with my compass and my ruler and just banging out a few patterns here, and it's kind of fun. I'm just going to keep doing it till it isn't fun, right? Right. Well, I think that's what we're going to do. Who knows? I still haven't decided if I'm going to do another layer or add some pen work over top, or watercolor pencil, or I don't know, even a pastel, oil pastel over top. I have not decided, but these are just beginning layers, you know. I heard somebody recently say, and I thought, oh, that's exactly how I feel. Only I didn't know that's how I felt. Is that a watercolor or sketchbook ought to be like a living thing. It ought to be like something that is never quite finished, or you can keep coming back to it over and over again. And I thought, yeah, that's exactly how I want to feel about my books. Is, yeah, sure, I have pages like this that are, you know, helping me see how some of my browns and grays and other colors play out in their different glazing levels, but at the same time I'm playing around with other stuff that is fun, and I should be able to continue to come back to it and add to it, and and keep having it evolve like a living work of art, I guess. It's just a didn't do a good job at erasing. And you'll see, like, even here I've got some smudge that came off of these over here, and some, you know, some stuff that bled over, but I don't care. We're just going to keep going. We aren't going to worry about being pristine or precious about this at all. I'm just going to play with some greens and blues. I'm still in my summer ocean influencing mindset, filled with memories of the sea. When we were at the ocean recently, we were down in Southwest Florida, and we took a day trip down to 10,000 Islands. Oh my goodness, what an amazing adventure that was. You they take you in a boat and take you over to these islands that are, you know, barrier islands, kind of right above the Everglades. And it is hot as blue mud down there in June, I'll tell you the truth. And even though we went in the afternoon, late afternoon, and we you know, could get in the water and cool off, and we were right there on the coast. I mean, we were right there walking on the beach on this one island. It's called Kais Island. It was so hot. The breeze just did not dampen the heat. And I'm a Floridian. I have lived in Florida since 1978. I know what the heat is about. And we took lots to drink and stayed hydrated and all that, but man, it just about kicked your butt with the heat. So what I liked about this pattern is that the straight lines give way to the curved lines in some of the spots, not every spot, and then these these curved lines gave way to the straight lines down below it. So I thought that was kind of a neat pattern to play around with. And that these top ones were asymmetrical to the bottom boxes. The top boxes were not the same size. So we can appreciate a, you know, an asymmetrical moment, right? All right. These might be my favorite colors to play with, greens and blues. There's nothing at all wrong with this palette. There's a little bit of lavender that I gathered there, or grabbed there. Lavender is one of those colors when you're mixing up with your greens and blues that it makes a good mixing color. Kind of like a mother substitute, if you will. So if you're playing around and with colors and you're trying to get some different washes or whatever, grab some lavender. See, like that. It's a great substitute for mother. And in 1978, I was a girl. I was in middle school when we moved here. My brothers were babies and my sister was right behind me in age, but she was only 7 when we moved here, so she didn't remember a whole lot from our previous life. 7? Oh, I don't know. I've lost track. Who cares? Keep painting. You can tell I'm just kind of being very random with my colors. I'm just grabbing whatever. I've got palettes over here I'm trying to clean up. I got this plastic palette I've been trying to clean up for 300 years. And I have this guy that I'm trying to clean up a little bit. And then, well, I probably should have done this one because it's gonna now keep me from, oh well. It's about time to go eat my dinner anyway. Let this dry and I'll come back. Let's do one more. That's a fun color, isn't it? Very tealy, and I'm not being very precious with it, so my lines are getting blurred. Blurred lines. There we go. One more. Okay. That's my problems. I don't know when to stop sometimes. Then I don't eat. That ever happened to you? I bet it doesn't. But I'm the only one that gets so squirreled I forget to eat. Oh man, I could just swim in these colors, couldn't you? And these are all Daniel Smith colors. I say all. 99% of them are Daniel Smith colors. I have a few schminkies in here because I like to say it. It's fun to say and fun to paint with. Schminky. And then the rest are, yeah, this Daniel Smith. I got started on Daniel Smith young when I first got young. Early. I was not young when I got started. I've only been painting for, gosh, maybe 10 years. And even then, it's not all the time. It's not a full-time occupation. It's just a, you know, I bounce from hobbies. I bounce from this hobby to that hobby to another hobby. Signs of an ADHD hobby, or gosh, I can't even say it. Because something shiny will catch my attention, like I've been making bracelets lately for my niece and my youngest sister. She loves them. Of course, she was going to camp, and so I made her a bunch of stretchy friendship bracelets in her favorite colors, so she could take them to camp and see her friends. And so I'll do that for a while, and then I'll come back to watercolor. A little indigo over here, I think, is what this color is right now, and that'll darken this one up so it won't be quite so samey as this one. And yet, how samey does it look? It looks pretty samey. Okay, we're going to grab a little Prussian. Hello, Prussian. I'm going to grab a little bit of lavender to mix it up a bit. I got sloppy. See how that mother completely take that Prussian to just a different place? I love that. Pretty bright green just now. I'm not sure if it's sap green or just what, but that is bright. That's definitely sap there. I feel fairly confident. Grab a little mother. Grab a little mother. Okay. Ooh, I got a little off screen there, didn't I? Sorry about that. All right, let's let that dry. I'll give it a few minutes, then we'll come back and do the bottom. That way it's just not worried about bouncing that around. That's a little puddly, but I'm going to leave the puddle. I like it. I like how it dries. All right. Phase 2, as it were. We got some messes down here. We're just going to push on through. Oh, I just love greens and blues. Have I said that yet today enough times? I don't think so. I don't think so. Alright, that's a nice green. Let's add a blue to it and see what we can get. I'm really liking how some of these other ones up here dried with all the granulation and, you know, color variations, etc. We like it. So what I'm doing is I'm picking up colors. Sometimes I'm picking up Little Mother, which is a combination of all the colors in this palette over here. And then as I'm putting some color down, I'm just grabbing some other color and adding it to it, and it really helps you get these morphing colors. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. We like it. Ooh, I grabbed some red somehow. Oh, bummer. No, not doing that. Red is not our vibe this time. That was on my last video where I did some red and orange. Made like a little sunset situation happening. That turned out pretty cute. I was very pleased. Yeah. Fun. All right, let's grab some more blue into this. And a little bit of Mother. That is very blue. I think that's Prussian or phthalo. It would help if I would label my palette. Then I would actually know what I'm dipping into later. But yeah, here we are. We're just not going to be precious with it. That's just all I'm trying to say. Or you can. If that's what makes you happy. Ooh, I'm going to clean that up. That's not very clean. As I got through saying I'm not going to be precious, I'm cleaning it up. I am digging these colors, though. I'm going to tell you what. But I think the point here is just do what makes you happy. This right here, this makes me happy. Oh, yeah. These colors, how they play with each other, how they interact. Love it. I'll grab some really pale, like sap green over here. Compared to these other colors, this is going to look really green. All right, let's add some other greens to this so it's not all the same color. Oopsie. I got sloppy. Sloppy and gloppy. Those are twins. Ooh, man, I got real sloppy there. One of these days I'll probably do this pattern, but I'll get out, you know, instead of my number 10, which is what I'm using, by the way, number 10. I think this is Synthetic Squirrel, but don't quote me. It's an Escoda Versatile Synthetico. I love it. It's one of my favorite brushes. It's kind of my go-to brush, unless I'm doing really small work. But what I was going to say is I'll probably repeat this later maybe in a different color palette, maybe with pinks or reds or, you know, just whatever. But my point is, I'll probably do it with a smaller brush and really go for a detail, dare I say OCD like version of this, where it's got a lot of clean lines, crisp lines. The borders are real tight, instead of this sloppy gloppiness I'm doing here. But I don't, you know, this is just what's making me happy today. Sometimes when I'm being real precise, that really OCD, that's making me happy. And today, no, not so much. Today, my inner child wants to just slap it on the page. If you don't watch Andrea Nelson on YouTube, go look her up. She's a kindergarten or preschool or early elementary school art teacher who, I mean, she is just amazing to listen to her and to watch her do stuff, because she really takes a lot of the intimidation factor out. And man, I think we all need a little bit of that, don't we? Less intimidation about what we're doing and more just pure joy, and celebrate just playing around with paint and being a kid. And she's really inspiring to listen to. I really like her. I encourage anybody that's getting started. Ooh, I gotta go on my tippy toes here to get this little line. That wasn't really smart of me when I drew that, was it? If anybody's getting started in watercolor, she's a fantastic mentor. She does stuff that you can follow along with her, or pause it and go try it for yourself, and it's all just great, I think. It's very encouraging, even if you're, you know, you're not new to watercolor. It's just encouraging to watch somebody like her and her abandonment. So I guess it's me right now, kind of trying to emulate a little bit of that in a way. Well, yeah, I don't have to be perfect about this, and I love how this is turning out already, and it's barely half done. I love how bright these are, and sometimes I like being neutral, or not neutral, not pale, what am I looking for? Muted, pastel-y. But today I'm in a bright place. So here we are, just painting as bright as we can be, right? And I'm just grabbing whatever colors make me happy and just go for it. And not have a preconceived notion in my head about how it's going to turn out. That is the killer of joy, I'll tell you right now. Killer of joy. All right, this is a big old section, so we're just gonna get started, and we're gonna grab a bunch of paint. We do not know how this is going to end up. Of course, we don't know how it's going to end up on any of it, really, do we? Pick up some colors. Pick up a little of that mother, just to keep them off from being on samey. All right, let's brighten this up with some bright green, maybe some sap. Yep, and then let's grab some of these greens. Let's make them talk to each other, right? Yeah. And this paper isn't the really good paper. This is Strathmore 400 series, which is very affordable, especially if you get it like on a sale or a coupon or whatever, at your local art store. Joanne's, we're gonna miss you. But I think even the Canson's pretty good to use for stuff like this, because you're not doing a lot of lifting or layers or glazing or anything like that, where you need to worry about the paper kind of pilling up on you, or because this is just cellulose is all this paper is. All cheap watercolor papers, paper pulp. But it's It'll take the water pretty well. So all these paints that I'm putting on here. Man, this just looks like a big old lagoon somewhere, doesn't it? And that little piece of Payne's Gray, which is what came off from over here, it's just going to look like part of the whole thing. You're just never going to know it was here. Doing whatever it was doing, and now I'm just going to, because this stuff is kind of dried. Yeah, just going to be what it's going to be. Alright, let's grab some more. We're kind of running out of water here. Things are drying up. The air conditioner's doing its job. Thank you, air conditioner. We're going to grab some sap. And maybe some Prussian. And then maybe a little bit of this, I think this is cobalt turquoise here. Oh yeah, looks good. That's really bright, isn't it? Let's dull this down a little bit with a little bit of, whoopsie, a little bit of mother. It's just kind of, ooh, that was a little darker than I thought it would be. Well, okay. Let's just get rid of some of that over here. There we go. That was a little too much water, but we don't care. There we are. Now I'm going to try to do a paler turquoisier. Have anybody tried Sleeping Beauty? Oh my gosh, what a beautiful color that is. It is absolutely beautiful, and I enjoy using it so much. But cobalt turquoise isn't bad. It's just such a pale color when you're trying to do things. If you want richness in color, don't go after Sleeping Beauty. It's not a super rich color. But cobalt turquoise and phthalo turquoise are super pigmented by comparison. And this is, I think, cobalt. But don't quote me. It looks like it though. Okay. Just gonna wet that a little bit. Spread it out. Okay. Let's get some more like blue. Less turquoise. Hello. There we go. That's a blue. Let's get a little bit of mother to not make that quite so. Oh yeah, I'm loving this. I think that's indigo I'm grabbing there. I like indigo. Indigo's a nice color to interject here. You know what? I should grab some. I'm gonna grab some lavender right now. Let's see what we come up with for a, wow, that's an unusual blue. It's almost, what is that? Like a, that lavender's kind of giving it a periwinkle. Yeah, that's me trying to be a little clean on my lines. Haha, just kidding. I said I wasn't going to be precious, and then what do I go and do? Get a little precious. And no, not the ring. I know, I just showed my inner geek. Alright, last one. Let's see. decide what I want to do. All right. Getting down to the end of my book. I've got a, I think I've got like a page and a half or 2.5 pages left. It's not a lot. It'll be interesting to see kind of how I feel. And I say end, meaning I'd have to go back at that point and think about adding some more layers onto pages like this one. But I'm talking about just a blank page. This feels a little naked over here. I feel like I got to add something here. It's not going to make me happy to leave those two things undone, but I haven't decided what's going in there yet. Just kind of exploring my browns there, my browns and my neutrals. But I need to figure out. And then I've got like a half page with just like some of it. Yeah, I've just got some more pages to do. And then I've got another book here underneath ready to go. It's kind of using as a prop. And then I've got, I think, 2 or 3 more over off to the side that are ready to be stitched. I do a Coptic stitching. I don't know if you can tell it from here, but I'll probably get those ready over the weekend, so that as soon as this book, because this is book I've already got under here, I'm doing collage art in it, so I don't want to switch and put my watercolor in that. It's that whole ADHD crafting thing. I do collage art too. Okay. I think we have reached the end of this very saturated but absolutely beautiful page of blues and greens, still inspired by the sea, still loving the sea, and hope you try it. And if you do, let me know if you like it or not. But I love this, and I probably will do this I'll probably do this next time, like more circles, and probably even one here. But in general, I do like the shape, the 70s vibe. I'm loving it. I'm digging it. So thanks for stopping by. See you again soon. Bye.